FPL Game Week 6 team selection. Welcome to the Armband. I'm your host Chris, and Kieran is back with me today. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Couldn't let you down again. So yeah, rushed in here for this one.
You've had a busy week.
Indeed, yeah.
Deadline. I bet FPL has been far from your thoughts this week, whereas I feel a bit consumed by the wildcard this week. I have to say, it's just
I'm glad I didn't do mine, and I happen to be thinking that as well.
You would have had a lot going on. All right, on today's episode, we're going to preview both our teams' plans for this game week, any transfers, or talk about the wildcard, and Kieran's ideas for his chip strategy too. We're also going to talk about captaincy. It's hard to look past Haaland, but we will see if there's any other options. And yeah, just thoughts for this week. Should we jump straight into it and take a look at how you're lining up for this game week?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I can reveal I did 2 free transfers early on. I think it was Sunday night. I just did it. So I did Wood out. Obviously, he has Sunderland at home, but sold him because who knows if he's even first choice at all anymore. Jesus has been playing really well. Scored like 4 in his last 2 now. So he's gone. I've had enough of him. Never liked him as an asset, and as soon as I did pick him, he turned to a crap one. But yeah, Haaland in, and then I bought in Semenyo for Salah as well. So, but at this point, I could have done Verts out for someone else as well, but that would be taking a hit, and I still could do that, but maybe I just deal with Verts another week. Because the bench options, I'm not fully sure who I'm going to start out of, Anderson and Goodmanson and Richards. Yeah, because I think Richards could be fine too, to be honest, especially for Defcon. So but yeah, it was Haaland and Semenyo in. Semenyo probably just had to go there. His fixtures are still good. And yeah, the problem being is that many will be surprised that I haven't hit the wild card. Is that I still have Verts, I still have Rodgers, I still have Watkins, which is not a good situation. But at the same time, I still like the fixtures. I know that's terrible to say with how good they've been and how good their fixtures have been. But I gotta give them one more week. I feel like so. If I could steal wildcard if Haaland is injured, which I'm assuming he's probably fine.
Probably fine, yeah.
But if he is, then I may have to do an emergency wildcard on the night before the game week deadline or something. So that's where I am right now. May start Anderson over Goodmanson. May start Richards, but the rest of the team is pretty much logged in, I think. So yeah.
No, I think even though, like you say, you haven't played the wildcard this week, there's still a number of players who are really popular, transfer outs this week. Definitely Spurs defender, or Aston Villa attack, and are probably ones people have moved away from. So they in themselves sort of become a bit of a differential. And the fixture for Porro in your case is a very good one this game week.
Sure.
And Rodgers and Watkins, TBC on them. And also as well, I think from your bench, you've got Anderson and Richards who are popular picks on wildcard as well. So I think you've got players from every position who are still popular on wildcard and won't really change. Have you got a plan in mind if you didn't do it this week of when you might use it?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, I've hit the wildcard at the bench boost already last week, which was kind of obviously you went over your points, but it was kind of successful. It scored 15 points.
Yeah, it was good.
Which is fine, I guess. Verts with a 0 was in the 11 was a downer, but other than that, it was it was fine. But I still only got 54 points, which got me a decent green to 5 million now, I think it is.
Yep.
But saying that, I was at 7.8 million or something, so it's not particularly great ground gaining with a chip. I guess 2 million spaces with a chip is good, but at the same time, I'm not anywhere where I want to be. So, I'm not sure when I'm doing other things other than possibly triple captain Haaland this week.
So from an Arsenal point of view, I'm just going to put the fixtures up on the screen now for team goal projections. Actually, probably team clean sheet. Arsenal just absolutely far away. These are some the Solio Analytics predictions for next. I think it's from game week 6 to game week 19 here, but their amount of their clean sheet odds over that period are so high. Are you thinking that obviously this game week is typical because I think it's a really good game week to wildcard, but I don't think this is necessarily one of their better. I think it's the second lowest predicted clean sheet chances of all those like 13 game weeks. But are you thinking from game week 7 just Gabriel, Raya, maybe Saliba is on your radar for a defender move?
I think we need to consider Timber and Calafiori as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Raya seems safe. But yeah, for sure. I will definitely be trying to get one of them in my team. I think that's a reason to possibly hold off, just see where Saka is still. He didn't look particularly good in the cup in his minutes that he got. So, but then Gyökeres isn't looking particularly good either.
No,
so
I
it's
agree.
like you kind of do want one of their attackers. But yeah, defense-wise, like, yeah, they look great. I think Saliba played, didn't he? Gabriel didn't.
That's right.
Did Calafiori and Timber play?
I don't think so.
No, okay. So that to me says that they're pretty safe for the Premier League, to be honest. So yeah, and they seem to be getting attacking numbers. So yeah, I kind of like those guys, but maybe Defcon is better for Saliba. But yeah, you need to have one of them at least going forward, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'll jump over and preview my team now, but I'm sure we'll come back to the clean sheet and goal projections. I don't know if you've seen, but to be honest, my lineup isn't going to be too different. I feel like it's quite template, but like as I talked about when I did the show the other on Tuesday, I feel like it's template because we haven't got like midfield premiums at the moment, and it's sort of apart from Salah, who's sort of underperforming giving his price. So it picks it. I'll run through the team. It seems quite popular amongst many of the other content creators, but like I say, I think it's just the way it is at the moment. So the main thing behind Raya in goal was, I think, given how good Defcons have made mid-price defenders, you may as well pay for the best keeper you think is going to keep the most clean sheets / save points over the season. So that even made me think I don't necessarily need Gabriel because he's not like that good on Defcon now. So gone for Raya and Dubravka in goal. My defenders, I've literally just gone full Defcon. Senesi I already had. Anderson I didn't, was probably a bit of an oversight at the start of the season, but he's in. Tarkowski, fairly good entry point against West Ham this game week. And then on the bench at the moment, I've got Gabriel, who I mentioned, just because the clean sheet odds I just think are amazing from game week 6 to game week 19. He's like a nice premium one who I don't think I'm going to keep all that time because Liverpool's fixtures get good around game week 13. And I think that could be quite a nice time to move him to Van Dijk. And then finally, just Rodon. I haven't played my bench boost yet, so Rodon actually remains in my team, and I'm kind of looking at maybe game week 9 would be a nice time to play it with 2 Leeds players. So in the lineup I've actually got on screen at the moment, I've bought Gyökeres, but I'm benching him this week against Newcastle.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not, like you said, I'm not sold on him yet. Like the bits I've seen of him, he looks fine, but he's really struggled in his games against, let's say, the league's tougher opposition. Newcastle have got the best defensive record in the league so far.
Yeah, I can't see him scoring against Newcastle.
No, I agree. I feel like it's going to be a tough game. And I don't really see... I know lots of people say Saka's also an option, but like he's still, for me, a minutes risk. He's not on penalties. He's 0.8 more expensive than Gyökeres. I definitely wouldn't be advocating like double Arsenal attack for this run. I would much rather happier having 2 defenders. So yeah, Gyökeres is my...
Which is strange for you.
Yeah, I know. I look at the odds. I know it really is. That's why I've been weighing up, thinking, right, can I get Gvardiol or can I get Van Dijk now? But I just look at the odds and I just think in the short term, it just seems there's enough reason to back Arsenal double defence, and if it doesn't work out, then yeah, Gabriel is the one I would get rid of, I think, just because Raya's cheaper. Yeah, so Gyökeres I've got benched at the minute. So then in midfield, it leaves me with midfielder Bruno and Semenyo, who I've kept. Reinders has come in for City's good fixture run. He seems like the most nailed on after Haaland, let's say, the midfield options. Ndai is like a bit of a... I don't know, I'm not 100% convinced, but he's got good fixtures. He's returned really consistently. When I talked about him on Tuesday, I think he's returned in every game week bar game week 1. So he's got attacking threat as well as chance of defcons. So, and he's rumoured to be on penalties as well. So I think he's a good one given the fixtures. And then finally, Statch I've chosen over Hall. I've had like Hall since game week 1. Whilst he did really well in that Wolves game, he's pretty good at getting a yellow card, and he's not really one for attacking returns. Like Stash's underlying numbers have been better. He takes more set pieces. He's got more, taking more shots, making more key passes in open play. I'm not going to play him very much either, but he
double up with NGI doesn't seem great either.
No, exactly.
If you have it to mids,
yeah, exactly. And I look at someone like Stash at home against Bournemouth this weekend, and I think it's as good an opportunity for him to get DEFCON in that game and maybe get 4 points than Gyökeres is likely to get a return, which is crazy for a 9 million striker, but I'm kind of thinking he's in there because of the fixtures after that. And then up front, pretty template. João Pedro with Palmer out seems like a really good option. Obviously, Chelsea's attack is weaker, but he's going to monopolise most of the attacking returns, I bet. Haaland obviously speaks for himself. So, yeah, that's where the wildcard is at the moment. And like I say, I think because of the lack of Palmer and Saka, there's... I don't know. If I'm not going to have Salah at least for 3 game weeks, this seems like a good way to...
So have you got no Liverpool now at all?
Got no Liverpool now at all.
Do you think that's a risk considering, Palace, I don't... it's a tough fixture, but, is it that bad? Don't know. And then Chelsea, probably a tight game, but, he's probably could score in that. And then Man United at home is obviously a good fixture.
Yeah.
Brentford, Villa, those don't seem like bad fixtures, especially with how Villa have been. And then they start to get good again. Why is everybody definitely off Liverpool? Is it just because of fixtures?
I think it's just, fixtures a little bit. I mean, I've just put up the goal projections, and you're right. Liverpool lead the way from now until game week 18 by 30 goals they're going to score over that time. I think probably watching Haaland over the first few game weeks, and maybe you've experienced too, is because they're so evenly matched in price. You want Salah to feel like he's more involved and hogging more of that goal share. I feel like there's been much more of a split over the season so far, and their attack still. I mean, the fact that he's still getting 90 minutes obviously is great, but I just think at the moment, until we know more about how that front four.
So do you not think a Gapco or that's obviously maybe not, but a Gapco seems like a good option still, because is Ekitike banned in the league?
Yeah, he's banned for this one. I mean, that's another thing about.
And then Isak, is it time to go on Isak?
I mean, we could find and get 3 game weeks when Isak's at full form. We'll have more of a picture of what that Liverpool front line is going to be like, and maybe Isak is going to be first choice in the league, and maybe he comes an as good an option as Salah. I just think what we've learned from Haaland after 5 game weeks is he is soaking up so much XG for that T. He's by far and away the better from an attacking threat. I mean, he's returned 46 points, I think, to Salah's 30 something. And I don't really see any reason why that trajectory would change now, given how good the fixtures are. So, but yeah, I agree with you. It does feel strange to dump out of Liverpool. But personally, I don't know if you agree, but is a Salah and Haaland wildcard really viable?
Yeah, it might be, considering all the cheap DEFCONs and defenders and the cheap midfielders as well, almost mid-price, I guess, because you're not going for Palmer or Saka. So yeah, it could be.
Could be.
But maybe Gapco is the one to just have, and just you kind of still cover them a bit.
Yeah.
And then, but maybe not on wildcard. Maybe just use these fixtures to just see how Isak's going to bed in, and if he is going to be first choice, and then you kind of move on him later. But I feel like he's probably he's already scored for them now in the cup. Ekitike banned, so he's definitely going to be starting the next one, and that's probably the only opportunity he needs to kind of
get
cement his starting choice. Yeah, so it feels bad for Ekitike because he's been so good too.
I agree.
But at the same time, it's Isak. I think he probably is a better player. I'm not going to say that's definite because Ekitike has been really good. But it's the people who go early on Isak, I think could benefit well, despite the fixtures.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's with Liverpool. I just feel like there's a bit of uncertainty around all of the 4 we've experienced, and that just makes me doubt Mo a little bit, and almost that's a bit of the reason why I'm not having Van Dijk. You're right, I wouldn't normally double up in defence. I said that on Tuesday, that's why I had Gvardiol, but Liverpool's defensive record this season like hasn't been great. The underlying numbers are far off what Arsenal's are. They're far even off what Newcastle's are. And while Van Dijk has been better for DEFCON, he's not as likely to keep a clean sheet. So it's really tough. It's really tough between those two. I think most of the other players in my team are like fairly settled for me, but defenders I'm just not 100% certain on Tarkowski.
Are you considering Newcastle players? Because obviously Arsenal at home, but then Forest home, Brighton, Fulham away, West Ham, Brentford, City, Everton, Tottenham, Burnley. Like with the best defense in the league right now, like why is Newcastle not been considered?
Yeah, Burn has been like in and out in place of Tarkowski. I just think he like you mentioned, their defensive record is really good. He's soaking up DEFCON. He's perhaps not as profitable. It sucks, I think, a little bit. I kind of said about how annoying the meta is in some ways. It's because I think if for let's say Tarkowski, Anderson, and Senesi, what we know about them is they're pretty much like 90+ hit rate on DEFCON. So unless they're conceding 4 goals in a game, which I think is unlikely because they're not in Europe, they're going to play, they're tough teams to play against. Their baseline is like now 3 points, and more than likely is going to be 4 points every game. And that's because we know they hit DEFCON. But for someone like Burn, even though he's got like the great fixtures, and even Gabriel to an extent, like if they don't get a clean sheet, they're less likely to get any DEFCON, so they're going to just be 2-pointers.
Yeah,
and it kind of sucks because I think it's just changed the group of players you pick from.
Does putting Pope in there instead of Raya and just having Gabriel, is it or Calafiori / Timber and just have the same price? You could do that.
That's true. But I think, like I said at the start about Raya, it almost like comes back to Calafiori and Timber, let's say, like are just sadly not getting the DEFCON, and I feel like the DEFCON is just like such a repeatable action. So why would you not? For Raya can't really earn, or any goalkeeper can't really earn any other ways to points apart from save points, let's say. But then, like the best way for them is the clean sheet. So it just seems like why would you not pick the goalkeeper that is expected to get the most clean sheets when he's the same price as a defender who's not going to get DEFCON?
Yeah, true.
But like it kind of sucks. It just makes it a bit boring.
Yeah, see, like I feel like I would still like, even though I've trying to learn from the DEFCON, I think I would still be like, oh my god, I want like the attacking guy.
Fullback, I know.
Yeah. And I that's probably a reflection of my rank.
I don't know. It's just, I think it's difficult to adapt to because like this game week I could buy Caicedo, and I've talked up Caicedo loads, but I haven't got him just because budget really. But I've been like looking at weeks I could bench boost. In game week 8, let's say, looks good for some of my players, but in that game week, Tarkowski plays away against City and I plays away against City after the international break. And I was thinking, that week sucks for a bench boost. But then I kind of think it's pretty unlikely Tarkowski, they're going to concede 4 goals. But I think it's really likely he's going to get more than 10 DEFCONs away against City. So that's like a 4-pointer. That's like away against City. That would be fine on a bench boost. And then Dye's going to be doing loads of work because they'll be in a low block, so he's probably got like a minimum 4 points as well. So yeah, I think it's reevaluating a little bit about how much the DEFCON can impact the team. Sucks.
Yeah, I think finally, like Spurs players, what do you think about them?
Yeah, my draft.
Good players too. Xavi, Kudus. Yeah,
for sure. My draft on Tuesday actually I had Richarlison over Gyökeres. And I might, because I've got 2 free transfers banked, I might even keep Richarlison in there for this game week and then use it almost like a bit of a 1-week punt because I see him better probably than Stash, and then get Gyökeres if I still think he's useful.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, just that. Wolves, they've got the worst expected goals conceded in the league. Richarlison looks to be first choice. Solanke didn't even make the bench last night considering he's been training, so he's definitely out. I think that would be a fine move.
I think I saw on Twitter that Xavi Simons created like 7 chances in the cup. Something like 4 shots, was taking like all the corners, looking good for minutes. So like I feel like he's probably going to start popping off a little bit soon. Like he just needs a goal and assist, and then people are going to start absolutely like hammering his price up and like just getting him because I think he's still 7 mil, 7.1 maybe. But yeah, I think sooner rather than later, he's going to start going up.
Well, I think
getting returns.
The problem is there's like reasons to not have each Spurs player, like the best players in each of their positions. So, like I say, Vicario, you would probably pick Raya over him just because you'd expect Arsenal to get more clean sheets. The best defender for Spurs probably at the moment is like Romero, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, cheaper, but they're close on DEFCON. But then
not great on DEFCON.
Yeah, so that makes them like worse than Tarkowski, Anderson, and Senesi. And then in midfield, let's say Kudus is probably the most nailed. But then is he any better than Ndai, who's potentially got penalties? And then Richarlison up front, like maybe he's better than João Pedro because he's got penalties, but he's got threat from Solanke. So I feel like there's like slight negatives to each of them. If I was on free hit this weekend, I'd have triple Spurs. Easy.
What's the negative for Xavi then? There isn't one really.
They're probably not. Well, just that he's still a bit unknown.
Yeah.
Like what position is he going to play?
I think he played the 10 in the cup as well. So he's played the left side and the 10. So it looks like that's good for his minutes in the sense that he can play anywhere along the front 3 or 4. So that's good for him.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah, I think he could be a really good option. But again, it's like we just don't know yet. I know
that's maybe I should have gone for him instead of Semenyo. I mean, that seems kind of weird with the price changes and stuff. But I guess Semenyo maybe is he definitely on penalties now? Who knows? But Xavi, I feel like
probably would.
The spicy differential
could be. Yeah. I know. I feel like we need that. Like I said at the start, when I'm picking the team, it feels like there's really good reasons to have each of these like 15 players, and I don't know. It just seems like it's a really popular template, which kind of sucks. Yeah. And it's like, how can I get around that? Like you mentioned, it's like I'm looking at just changing fringe players. Like, is Tarkowski right? There's Burn right there. There's Van der Ven or Porro, or can I play Richarlison? But it just feels like you just come back to this squad as being more reliable. So, yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, we will see.
Yeah. I think it's good. Go on, Kieran.
I was just going to say on captaincy, if you didn't have Haaland this weekend, who do you think looks like a good option?
Ooh,
it's a tough one.
Maybe Pedro against Brighton, old club. Old club was good when Palmer was out, wasn't he? So, who else is there?
I would say Richarlison is a maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
If you owned him.
Bruno, maybe. I mean, there's not many great options. I think Palace are probably going to stifle Liverpool a bit, at least. So I wouldn't say Salah is definitely a great option. So it's probably Pedro, Richarlison, Bruno.
Yeah, as backups. Yeah.
Maybe I guess you can consider Gyökeres, but probably not.
No, definitely. He's maybe on my bench.
Well, yeah.
And then finally, just on your team before we wrap up, how likely are you to play triple captain this game week?
Well, that's the reason I didn't wildcard, because everybody else was wildcarding. I just thought I can do it in two free transfers, and my team on paper still looked fine. Yeah. So I thought, that's the reason I did the two free transfers. If he's fine, then I probably will, because it's the best attack, the best striker for XG, versus the worst defense. As long as he's fit and he plays 70 plus or something, then that seems good enough.
Yeah, no, I think if I hadn't have wildcarded, if I hadn't have wildcarded, I think I would have done it this weekend. So, yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one to see, how many points he gets. I do expect 2 goals, maybe.
Yeah, it is just risky because Pep's never going to be like, he's definitely fit
or not? No.
So, it could be an absolute fall hugely flat, but at the same time, I guess Vice is very important if I'm going to do that. So it's on Bruno at the moment.
Yeah,
so Brentford away. Yeah,
Bruno for me too. Alrighty, should we wrap up there?
Yeah, let's leave it there.
Cool. All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back next game week, probably Tuesday, to recap how my wildcard has gone and also preview game week 7. Crazy. All right, we will speak to you next time.
Yeah, cheers all.
Bye bye.